All right, so let's have a conversation about our Scorpio new moon today, um, November the 14th / 15th, 2020, depending on where you are here in the Central Time Zone. Our new moon happens at 11:11 p.m. tonight, so depending on where you are in the world, your new moon will either be on the 14th or the 15th. And it's a pretty doggone big new moon, right? This is a Scorpio new moon, 23 degrees of Scorpio. Scorpio being this sign of transformation, right? The sign of union, the sign of how we utilize our spiritual resources. And it's a pretty big deal. So this new moon is sextiling. Why, thank you. Okay. This new moon is sextiling Jupiter and Pluto, both of which are in Capricorn. So that's about power and transformation and growth and expansion, right? And so while we're creating our intentions, we want to make sure that we're not overreaching, right? We want them to be powerful new intentions, but we do not want them to be so lofty that we overpromise, right? Jupiter is about expansion, but Jupiter also has that tendency to overreach and overstretch and overestimate. So while I am not advocating that you curtail your imaginings in any way, the fact that Pluto and Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn require them to be functional and utilitarian. You have to be able to accomplish these things. Even though Scorpio is giving you the reach and vision to create something amazing, right? Yeah. So all this work that we've been doing for the last couple of years is really packed into this new moon, right? So Jupiter and Scorpio, Jupiter and Pluto and Saturn sitting there in Capricorn have been asking us to do this work, right? Dig up your stuff, empty the closets, find all the stuff that you've had buried and hidden, and create from it that newness, that sense of purge, that sense of release. And Scorpio, is all about not requiring, right? Scorpio is about release. Scorpio is about really knowing what's essential in terms of your soul's resources and those things that are unspoken. And so let's talk a little bit about the other aspects here, okay? So, so that new moon is in conjunct the North Node in Gemini, which means there might be a little miscommunication. So it's important, in fact, imperative to make sure that you are listening with your heart as you create those intentions. As such, let's talk about one of, I think, the key players energetically right now, and that's Venus, right? So Venus is at 22 Libra, right, at that new moon. So she's squaring Jupiter and Pluto. So this is about really being aware and digging into your feelings, very, very much in your own discernment, right? The blessing here is that Venus is trining that Gemini North Node. So if you're in alignment with your feelings, it's going to be easier to create in alignment with your vision, right? Venus is also in conjunct a Pisces Neptune. And remember, Pisces Neptune is all about what is easier felt than spoken, right? Those things that are kind of so nebulous that they defy our ability to define them in our limited language, right? So it might be easier to feel into them as opposed to trying to, thank you. You don't need to, but thank you. As opposed to try and rationally define them, right? As such, we definitely want to take note of the ways that we might be leading with our wounds, right? Because Mercury is in conjunct Chiron, right? Literally 5 degrees Scorpio, 5 degrees Aries. And so our tendency to lead from our wounds could be strong. And if we're really, really working on digging into that intuition, then we'll have a much easier time than we would if we were just trying to use our brains, use our mind. So these are all things that you want to be in consideration of as you sit with your intentions. And I just really want to circle it back to Venus, right? So Venus is trining that North Node. So she is aspecting with that air energy. She's squaring Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn. So she's aspecting with earth energy. She's in conjunct Pisces in Neptune and Pisces, that water energy. And she's opposing Mars in Aries, that fire energy. So she is really in a position of power at this point, at this instant of new moon, right? And, you know, Venus is the shining one, right? Venus is that glory, that radiance, right? Aphrodite raised from the sea. She is motherless and fatherless. She's an elemental goddess, right? She's an elemental energy herself. And so if we're able to harness all of these elements within her energy of love and beauty and justice and harmony, I believe that we have the power to create something that we may have never even imagined was possible, right? That concept of utopia, that concept of divine union, Scorpio energy, right? Scorpio is all about union. Scorpio comes right after Libra, that sign of relationship. And Scorpio asks us, how do we take this relationship, this one-on-one relationship, and create that third space between, right? That nebulous third entity that is union. And with all of these aspects, if we can really dig into this Venus energy during this new moon, this time of darkness, if we can really become and accept our role as that shining one, and create our intentions, both individually and, oh yeah, collectively, from that place of acceptance that we can be the bridge, there's really no limit to what we can do. There's no limit to what we can create. You know, that Capricorn energy that we've been looking at with Jupiter and Pluto and Scorpio. My goodness, Jupiter and Pluto and Saturn, heavens, is all about function. It's all about utilitarianism. It's all about getting things done. And we can create anything, right? Capricorn energy is that architect energy, that vision energy. Even though it's the highest form of earth energy, it encompasses within it the power and the possibility to create from nothing, because the resources are all there, always. So if we can juggle all of these things within our sense of destiny and purpose, and really put that love in action, there's no limit to what we can do. So let's check it out. And all right, so we've got the Ace of Pentacles, which is beautiful for that earth energy we've got in Capricorn, and even Uranus and Taurus, right? Clarified by the Seven of Cups. So this is about the divine, right? We know that all of our aces are divine opportunity, right, for happiness and blessings. And this is about creation. This is about creating something new. And it's about being able to choose from many, many options, right? And what did we just talk about, right? There are so many ways that things can go right now. There are so many plates spinning and balls in the air, that if we can really reach out and grasp that divine intention for something solid, right? There's nothing we can't do. Utopia is ours. We just have to have discernment and the ability to witness through any kind of illusion what we really want, where we really want to go. Nothing, absolutely nothing is held back from us. So here we have the Tower, clarified by justice, right? So this is cataclysmic change, Uranus and Taurus. And, Uranus right now is opposing Mercury. And so in cataclysmic change, we have the blessing of being able to rebuild in any way we choose, right? We get to pick up the pieces. We get to choose which pieces we don't need anymore. We get to choose which pieces will create the best foundation, will create the best walls, will create the best doorways, or we don't have to create any foundation or any doorways or any walls. We can just exist as whatever we wish. So the Tower blows apart all those structures, right? So all those old Capricorn structures that had been created, that have been deconstructed, that have been demolished and undone as a result of the last 2+ years of grind of energy, right? And so, here's Venus showing up as the Libra card, rebuilding with that sense of harmony, rebuilding with that sense of justice and beauty inherent in everything that we create and recreate, right? I mean, yes, please. So we have the Nine of Swords and the Four of Swords, right? So the Nine of Swords is that stuff that keeps you up at night, right? Those anxiety points, those places that you wake up and kind of have a hard time falling back to sleep, those things that have been bothering you. And why? Because the Nine of Swords is all about the stuff you've been carrying and didn't need to, right? The mental energy that you've been carrying and didn't need to. And the Four of Swords says, no, we don't need those things anymore. We're going to put 5 of them down, and the Five of Swords is all about conflict, right? So we're putting that energy down. We're putting that energy of conflict down, and we're going to be in rest. We're going to be in contemplation. We're going to be in that space of renewal, right? Scorpio energy. We don't need anxiety. We just need to listen. We just need to go within and listen, right? This is a meditative, contemplative card. Yeah, absolutely. And then we have the Six of Cups and the Nine of Wands. So the Six of Cups energy is all about nostalgia. It's all about bringing the past forward, which we've been doing, right, for the last 2+ years with all this energy in Capricorn. Saturn and Pluto. Pluto brings forth all of our old buried things, the things we didn't want to deal with, the things we were in avoidance of. And Pluto has just been throwing this out on our table at us, right? Like, here, you didn't deal with this. Here, you didn't deal with that. Here, you didn't deal with that. And then Saturn steps in and says, right, so what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? And so the Six of Cups is asking us, all these things that have been brought forth, they must be examined. right? And so we've been sifting and sorting and going through the cycles and patterns of our lives to find what works and what doesn't, what brings us joy and what doesn't, what brings us misery and what doesn't. And so we've been reconstructing our lives in order with those discoveries and those awarenesses. You know, we've basically been Marie Kondoing the heck out of our Pluto stuff. And so the Nine of Wands it's a card of being watchful, right? He's guarding a victory, right? You know, he's got this hard-won victory behind him, and he's standing victorious, but on guard, right? So this is, don't let those things creep back in. Don't let the past come and get you. Be mindful. Be aware of where you're going. We have the Three of Pentacles clarified by the Ten of Pentacles, right? So again, we have these gifts of Earth brought forth. Three of Pentacles is cooperation. It's mastery. It's working together. It's creating shared goals. It's creating shared circumstance. You know, the Three of Pentacles is about working toward mastery together, collaboration, compromise. And the Ten of Pentacles is about that well-resourced life, that fully resourced life, really being in your abundance in the most practical and 3D of ways. And with all this Capricorn energy right now, what better, you know, final depositor can we have but compromise and full abundance, full resource, right? This is really just about getting clear with all of those things and finding what is and what works individually and collectively, right? Every individual is simply as strong as the group around them. Nobody is an island, right? We do not win by ourselves. Wow. Wow. Okay, that's crazy. We just had this one. To be fair. Again, Venus card, right? She has a lot to tell us, guys. Balance, justice. A need to consider options, mutual benefit, the law of cause and effect. Life offers experiences that are challenging and experiences that are nourishing, yet over time they strike a balance. You move from being to stasis to doing, from discovering to loving to letting go to being again. Life is a pendulum swinging between all of these states. You will always oscillate back and forth between being and doing. If you're not content with where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause there is an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed now. Cause and effect. You know, we create and we destroy and we recreate. And the key here is this, you know, our desires are just our memories, right? They're just the ways that we remember being. And so, karmically speaking, what we desire is recreation. And experience asks us to try for the new, right? Experience asks us to defy our memory. and reach for something bigger, reach for something better, reach for something new that we've not done, that we've not experienced. And so that's what this energy is looking for, right? And so over and over talks about these cycles that we're going through, right? We do things over and over again until we release them, Scorpio New Moon, right? We call in things over and over until we learn the lesson. Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn in Capricorn. Yeah. This is a new moon full of intentionality. Get deeply intentional and do it from your heart space. Yeah, this is a really big one, guys. Set your intentions individually and collectively. Set them practically and set them as big as you can imagine. Get your vision, and then get your vision for everything and everyone, right? Do it all, because it all matters. It all starts with you, right? Mars is direct. Things are going to shift. Things are going to change. These next few moon cycles are going to be enormous. Things are going to, the big boys' energy is going to start to change as they step into Aquarius, you know. This is the dawning, so pay attention. Blessed new moon. Yeah, big blessings. Catch you later.